Headquarters.
All right, thanks for joining us. Obviously, it's the headquarters of Ghana football as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned, and obviously the number one news on everybody's radar is the unfortunate incidents of the weekend. And of course, we are in mourning and also commiserations and condolences to the family of the late Pooley. That's his nickname. We'll talk about that in detail in a bit. It's important to do the right things and also to give, acknowledgement to those who are making sure that the right thing is done. And we'll keep you posted on exactly what's happening as far as the GFA is concerned, as far as Kumasi Asante Kotoko is concerned, the football fraternity, and also the media. What is the media saying? What are the, what do we have to do? And then the football ecosystem, as far as the supporters are concerned, they've all come together to ensure that the right things are done. We can't talk about football without making sure that we have the safety of those involved. That's the most important thing. I don't think anybody would want to sit here and talk about football when lives are lost or people are losing their lives. So it's very important that we put the priority right. But in all saying that, we still need to focus on what's happened. And so what we'll do is that we'll look at the results and then we'll come back and talk about the most important and pressing issue as far as Ghana football is concerned. So those are the results. I know right now it's almost irrelevant, but it's for the facts and the stats. We still have to do the job. And the Phobians, of course, they started it on a Friday evening at Legon, getting a 1-0 win over Heart of Lions there. So they move up to 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it 5th? We'll take a look at the table in a bit. Midiama bouncing back to a win. And Gold Stars drawing goalless with Summertex. Dreams also winning against Basake Holy Stars. And, of course, Adriana winning at home in Doma. And Karela also winning against Brecum Chelsea. Young Apostles, surprisingly, went away to beat Nations. A really surprising result, but they've done well. Midiama back to winning ways as well, and Vision overcame Accra Lions. But that result in Swatraman versus Asante Kotoko is one that stands out for many. I'm in good company. Prince Anan and Francis Agboigbo Blackgate is also here. They're both here. But let's take a look at the standings. And it's about the goal difference, isn't it, right now? And Hearts of Oak move up onto 4th. But look at the points. Very tight at the top there. In fact, from position number 6, going upwards, there's very little to choose between those two, the top 6. Maybe we should even chip in the top 7 because looking at the caliber of Midiama. Gentlemen, let's do the right thing first. The most important thing, obviously, that's the bottom of the table. Accra Lions are really in big trouble. I don't know if this season they'll be able to escape. It's going to be difficult for them. But Lagos Cities and Karela as well. Karela have been dropped in their zone. Dreams have popped out of it, but it's still going to be very, very, very tight. Okay. Prince, Francis, can we talk about the GPL without talking about the most important thing, life? Because I'm sitting there, let's talk about the GPL, let's talk about the goals, the stats. But if the players and the officials and the media and the rest of them are not involved, we will not be sitting here talking about that. But your take, first of all, on the side events over the weekend.
Well, thank you very much, Yaw. Aptly put, sad events that happened, because not only did it happen in Swatre, there were sketchy reports coming from Takwa. There were other reports coming from the game between Nations and Young Apostles. A lot of betting stories here and there. We'll get into the nitty-gritty when we get there. But prior to this weekend's matches, there was some keenness in the Ghana Premier League in terms of results, in terms of the statistics. And every week we sit here, there are just minor changes in the positioning of the Ghana Premier League table. Clubs have certainly showed their desire to go all out this season. So we've seen Heart of Lions battle at the top. We've seen BBNE Gold Stars being threatened by other clubs like Asante Kotoko. Midiama coming in close, hard and fast. At the bottom of the table, there's also a competition of some sort going on. So in general, we're all looking forward to some positive scenarios at the end of match days, at the end of 90 minutes. But alas, we were all taken away, and we went a few years back in our football growth and development. Like I said, bottom of the table, it's a keenly contested one. The points difference is just like we have at the very top. Karela, Legon Cities and Accra Lions currently occupy the relegation zone, but it's a tough encounter out there. Dreams have been there before, so they have a feel of it. In Swatreman went into the game against Asante Kotoko knowing that they've got 2 matches away from their base, and so they were in dire need of the points. I don't know whether that was what escalated into what we just saw. But again, life at the bottom has not been that comfortable. It's not been that smooth. Life at the top, on the opposite end, predominantly it used to be a 2-dogged race. BBNE Gold Star cementing their authority at the top, and then they were hotly pursued by the likes of Heart of Lions. Kumasi Asante Kotoko came in slowly but surely and then overtook them in the process. But now the top 2 have the same points. The 3rd and 4th have the same points. 5th and 6th are only separated by 2 points. 6th and 7th are separated by just a point. And so keenly contested league so far, with everybody battling for superiority. I know we will come back to the Inswatre level, but again, yeah, if what we have seen from previous match days is anything to go by, then the keenly contested nature of the Ghana Premier League really tells us that clubs are doing whatever they can as much as possible to ensure that they stay among positive positions.
No doubt about that, Francis. I know we have to talk about football, but sometimes you need to make a principled stand against whatever consequences there are. And I'm happy that Hearts of Oak are showing solidarity with Asante Kotoko in that regard. What we know now is that Kotoko officially have withdrawn from the Ghana Premier League until some assurances have been made. And we're Hearts of Oak are in support of that. Did it mean Hearts of Oak would do the same in solidarity? Even though they were not affected, they are also indirectly affected. Can we have a conversation about football without dealing with the most important thing, the people, the lives that matter?
Yeah, you can never talk about football without like living beings. We need each other. That's how come we call it competition. One side needs 11 living men on the pitch. Another side also need 11 living men on the pitch. That makes it 22 to battle against each other over the course of 90 minutes. And you know, my late dad will always tell you that when you have life, you can achieve anything you want in this life. But when you are dead, that is the end of you. You are gone. It's quite unfortunate, the scenes that we've seen, the kind of stuffs that we've seen from Nswatreman over the weekend. This is not football. This is not sports. You know, when you talk about sportsmanship, 2 people got to understand each other. That going into a football game, it's not life and death, Yaw. It is all about fair competition. It is all about either you win, you lose, or you draw. So if you go into a game thinking that you have to win at all costs, then you don't understand. You don't understand what this game is all about. That is how come they say sportsmanship. Yeah. Sometimes someone might be hurt on the pitch. You're supposed to kick the ball out so that the medics can attend to the person. Not that someone has to die. No life should be lost for 3 points. That is not it. That is not the basis upon which football, or the doctrines upon which football has been built. Football is supposed to unite us. Football is supposed to bring joy and happiness together. Football is supposed to bring competition. But the kind of unfortunate things that we've seen over the course of last weekend in Nswatre, it's uncalled for. Right from the on-pitch, the scuffle between both teams, players kicking. It's not a taekwondo or a karate competition. And even in those kind of situations, you have referees. There are certain limits that you can't go. You understand? But for this gentleman who is so much rearing with so much life, you watch videos of him in his home, in the studios. It's football. That is his happiness. It's so sad that he has to lose his life trying to support or enjoy what he likes doing best. It's terrible. And every single person that played a role in killing this gentleman should be held accountable, because this is murder. This is not just any ordinary killing. It's to me, I will even go to the extreme by saying that it's a premeditated murder, because I've seen some videos where the man in question, Pole, said Nswatreman fans threatened that he should never step foot into their home grounds. And when he came, they were going to kill him. And it happened. Make no mistake about it. This is the lowest we've seen in some years. Because aside May 9th, we've seen skirmishes here and there. But the manner in which this gentleman lost his life, Yaw, no human deserves to be. Even, excuse my language, if you, on Christmas Day, if you go to buy a live fowl and you want to kill the fowl, according to my tradition, you have to even give water to the fowl. You stretch the fowl, put your legs on him, try to drag the throat. That is respect before you even slay the throat. But for you to pick a knife from the house, stab it into the chest of somebody, right into his heart, to kill him on the spot like the way they did, it's terrible, it's disgusting. And if you look at this, no human being deserves to die in these particular circumstances. And I think the GFA got to be tough. Without mincing words or without massaging words, Yaw, the Bronx Ahafo teams in the Ghana Premier League has been the darkest face of the local league. Make no mistake about it.
You need to put it into context.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'll break it down. See, tell me in the last 5 seasons, Bofo Akwatano, Adriana Stars, if you can, Inswatraman, Brekum Chelsea, Bechem United. Yaw, every season, either 1 or 2 or 3 of these clubs will be banned from their home grounds. Because of what? Hooliganism. You see, sometimes we got to look at each other in the face and be truthful to each other.
That's the context I was looking for. You can't just make a generalization. But you're talking about crowd trouble, hooliganism.
Yes.
And disciplinary measures by the FA.
And the consistency at which these things pop up from that venue. I am happy my senior colleague is here. Last season at Bofo Akwah, he got heckled. And ever since Bofo Akwah got banned from that game, they couldn't survive it. They went on relegations. 2 seasons ago, Adriana Stars were on top of the league for majority of the seasons when Parkwesi Fabian was with them. They got banned because of what? Crowd trouble, hooliganism at the center. And they couldn't win the league. Mediama came from the back door to win the league that season. If you look at Bechem last season against Heart of Lions, look at what happened. It's terrible. Look at a human being lying on the floor like this. Yeah, when things like this happen, you ask yourself, God forbid, is it me or any of my relatives that this thing should happen to? How will you feel? No human being deserves dressed properly. This is not a pauper. This is a proper human being with a wife and kids. Mother, he's a breadwinner of a family. Just going to watch football over 90 minutes to lose their life like this. This is a no-no. It's terrible, it's disgusting, and any single human being that is linked up to this, the Ghana Police Service and the FA got to be tough. They've got to investigate this. I'll be very happy if they can get the one who did this, put him in the court, live on TV, sentence him to life imprisonment, so that it will serve as a deterrent to such-minded people in this country.
Yeah.
So that everybody will feel like you can't go to the stadium and do this. And yeah, before I land, I'll touch on the security service, especially the police service. Yeah, I am not mincing word this afternoon. If you go to the stadium, basically it's our job. We go to the stadium every day. How many number of times do you go to the checkout point into the stadium and you've been checked properly, whether you are carrying something dangerous on you? It's not done to the maximum effect that they are supposed to do it. The police IGP should call his people to order. They are there to protect life and order. They are there to set people and prevent people from carrying dangerous objects into the stadium. And as far as I'm concerned, the last two years, me going to the stadium, the sort of things I've seen at the gate, people are only interested in, have you gotten your ticket? Do you have your accreditation? Do you have your card? That's what they are interested in. They are not interested in checking you properly. That is how come people can go into the arena or around the arena with this dangerous stuff to go and end people's life prematurely.
Yeah, Prince, I guess Blackgate is speaking the truth, so I'm not going to cross-examine him. Yeah, it's understandable. But could you use the word that this young man has had to be the... what's the word? He had to be a martyr, if that's the right word. Okay, let's go, what's on the screen now, and then I'll come back to the issue of martyrdom. And this is, of course, coming from the Ghana Football Association, per their own regulations, citing the disciplinary code of 2019, which was updated at Congress a few years ago. Now, they're basically saying that both clubs failed to control their players. We saw that in the scuffle, the kung fu, kickboxing, punching that, exploded on the pitch. and they have until the 5th of February to respond to the charges, and video evidence regarding the incident surrounding the game are being reviewed. Additional charges would likely be brought to the table. This morning, I took possession of another video, obviously very graphic. You know, people were actually filming from different angles and what happened behind the scenes, and I'm sure in due course, people would also see those very terrible sides. So this is what's going to happen. The two sides will be charged. Some charges have been brought already. But the good news, in a way, is that action has been taken. Kotoko have said that until further notice, they're out of the Ghana Premier League. In Suatraman, some reports are suggesting that, but the FA today, through one of the executives, Frederick Echampong, says that they have not received any official communication from Eswatiraman. So as at the time we're coming on air, it hasn't been communicated to the FA. Perhaps now it may have been. The FA would make it known to the public whether they've received that, and indeed, and Kotoko's statement obviously condemning the unacceptable incidents that marred their game between Eswatiraman over the weekend. And unfortunately, the actions marred anything that football is supposed to, you know, represent. And the head of media also suffered a serious ear injury. Kwesiapia had, you know, what's the word to use? Sachet thrown at him, you know, and other officials of Asante Kotoko, Nana Prinkra, of course, all had other issues, and we've seen the videos going around. And Kotoko are saying they will cooperate with the FA in any of the investigations and expects firm action to be taken against those responsible. Football must be played in a secure and fair environment, and these acts of violence must not be tolerated. So it's basically coming back to what we're saying, that regardless of the competition, regardless of the table, the goal king, the excellent goals, if all of these, first and foremost, lives cannot be ensured, we don't have a game, Prince. We don't have a game of football.
Yeah, we're sad that these current turn of events have really dented and marred the image of Ghana football, especially after going through May 9th, the repercussions, and what we all thought that it was the last that we were going to see. Never again, we all said. But like my colleague Blackgate said, yes, the teams, and that's the man we're talking about. Everybody knows him as Pooley. I think his name is Francis Frimpong. And we see, one thing I admire about him is that everywhere Asante Kotoko goes, Pooley is there. I remember when, by virtue of Star Times association with the Ghana Football Association, we had to go to the north to honor a coverage of a match between Karela at Nalerigu against Asante Kotoko. He was the first person we cited at the stadium when we got to the stadium to go through rigging. And it shows you that he had a lot of dedication. Of course, a dyed-in-the-wool, die-hard supporter of the Porcupine Warriors. You see him at the Baba Yara Stadium with the tertiary group singing their hearts out. One would think that, why, this gentleman, he's not got anything to do. But he plays such a key role. The players adore him for almost always bringing the supporters together and chanting and cheering them on to victory. And so Pooley, for those who regularly visit the stadium to watch, especially Kotoko matches, he's a household figure and a household name. It was the saddest moment of Sunday when we heard that somebody had been stabbed. Then confirmation came that it was that man in the white shirt. He supports Kotoko with his everything. Not only were we sad about the fact that we lost him, but Blackgate rightly said, he just got married. So 5 months, and I hear the wife is pregnant.
Right.
Why should somebody like
this go through?
Exactly, you know? And I tell you what, yeah, when you get to this various stadia, yes, fans will almost always have a jaw, but it ends naturally. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people like supporters of Accra Great Olympics. They are the loudest.
Yeah, and some of the...
But at the end of the day, it's all camaraderie.
And some of the poetry that comes out, they cannot repeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, not
only
on air.
Langabel and Co can repeat.
Not on air, you know.
Yeah.
So he's such a lovable, you know, figure. that everybody admires. And one of the things that stand out for him is that he's always, even when Kotoko lose, Pooley is full of enthusiasm. He's full of what we say, vim. He will congratulate the players. He will tell them better luck next time. Next time. And he's always encouraging them. So he stood for peace. Why should he go through what he went through? And again, like Blackgate rightly said, sadly, I would have to concur. The teams in the Bono and Ahafo regions, they are different structure altogether. Like he again said, Bofuakwa, we had issues. We've had issues in Doma when Adriana play. We've had issues in Bechem when Bechem United play. We've also had issues in Brekum.
Some would say it's in particular with Kotoko. That's incorrect.
Most of the time, it is with Kotoko.
So the rivalry has gone beyond football. Is that correct or incorrect?
It may not have gone beyond football to such extent. But as far as, or as long as it is Kotoko coming to town, there'll be a lot of talk. Yes.
So anything we have to do to beat Kotoko, that is the mentality.
That is the mentality.
And now they cannot control it. It goes beyond.
It's gone beyond. Kotoko came to Doma. Star Times were there to cover it. We saw the incidents. But other teams who come to Doma and they suffer the same fate. I remember very well. We went to Doma to cover Adriana and Real Tamale United. It was chaotic. It was chaotic. So generally, it is something that is synonymous with them. Not Kotoko per se.
Yeah, when sometimes international football, you have maybe there's a Nigerian team coming to Ghana.
Sure.
There'll be a little bit of intimidation there. But there is a match commissioner. There are officials who are supposed to be neutral and make sure. So when a bus is entering a venue and the home team supporters decide not to let the bus in, what happens to the organizing
very good
security?
Question, yeah.
So
very good question.
The security of the FA should be there as a referee to make sure that Kotoko, Hearts, any team is not treated in that manner.
Sure.
So what happened to the structures?
You see, to some extent, some of the facilities we have also do not help.
Because there should be a safe zone.
Club licensing comes in here. It's a deep conversation.
Yes. No, the conversation goes beyond the levels that we're seeing. Because, for example, teams come to and let me use Brekum. Teams come to Brekum, they almost always find it difficult when they have to go in, especially when they are the big clubs, Hearts, Kotoko, etc., etc.
Yeah, see, regarding this particular communique from the FA, this is where I have issues with the center referee on the day Vomao. Look at the number of players that got charged by the FA after reviewing the tape.
6 insert remand players.
Very good.
4 Kotoko players.
Kotoko. How come Kotoko had the highest number of red cards on pitch in live play? You see some of the issues. If you take it back, look, in terms of common sense analysis.
I'm not holding brief for the
center referee.
He should have consulted, which he probably did, to issue, because he wouldn't have seen all the action.
There were 3 with a match official making 4. Coach Kwesi Appiah said something that with this analogy, he was at the stadium, he saw whatever happened. On what basis did Kotoko merited the highest number of red cards?
There were a lot of yellow cards.
There were a lot. Then the FA came up with this list, and I'm like, you see now, it goes down to support what Coach Kwesi Appiah was saying. He said right after these decisions, he decided that the environment wasn't safe enough, so he left the stadium because he realized that no, this is a hostile atmosphere. He's a big man. He can see that there is danger, and he can only owe a duty of care to himself. Personally,
he didn't escape a sachet of water being thrown in his eye.
Personally, if Kotoko had walked away from this game after the scuffle, I think a lot of things might even escalated even worse.
So an official of Kotoko I spoke to, I think for now keep it anonymous because they're following through. He did tell me that they wanted to walk away and abandon the game,
which I think they should have done.
But an FA official said they should continue. Now the reason why I'm not mentioning the FA official or the person involved is that this issue is
very sensitive.
It's very sensitive. So if it's true, the match was about the referee, another serious issue. The referee actually wanted to end the game and he was instructed to continue. So again, if this is true, we'll get to know in due course.
So you see, the issue I am having here is sometimes the referees have the power to take decisions because their life is at stake. The life of the two clubs is at stake. So if they find out the hostility is just too much for them to control,
but the call from above,
they shouldn't even be listening to those calls because I don't think in the Spanish La Liga or the English Premier League,
on the field, and you want to take a decision, and you are the center in charge.
You have to take the decision.
Why do you listen to others, especially to the detriment of lives? Look at where the dugouts are. The coaches are almost always at risk.
Yeah, see,
before it gets or transcends onto the field and gets to where the referee is, damage would have been caused. Half the time, when they even see the fans rushing on them, they run away.
They run away because they will overpower you. Yeah, see, let me tell you.
And then, just before you continue, why do you tell those who attended the press conference that there will be X number of policemen there?
And there wasn't. That's
what's the justification?
That's breach of security protocol.
Right.
See, yeah, let me tell you. In terms of hooliganism and what it brings to this game called football, in Pando, the Heart of Lions fans are one of the fans in this country that are spoiled with home victories. Last 2 weekends or last 3 weekends against Nations FC at the Pando Park, they got beaten for the first time at the Pando Sports Stadium. Yaw, you can ask Dr. Kwamiche, he was at the Pando Park. Not a single pin was held at anybody, not the referee, not the away team. That is sportsmanship. You don't need to always win. When the defeat comes, you take it. Because when you are winning, you are enjoying it. And in this game, it's either you win, you lose, or you draw. So the Bronx Ahafo teams got to understand, and the original FA needs to do a proper job on their teams because they are becoming the darkest face of our local league.
Well, a lot of issues to talk about, and we'll keep you posted. The good news is that the police are involved, and they've actually apprehended and arraigned before court a number of officials, should I say a high-ranking official of Swatraman, as well as 2 other suspects. So we'll keep you posted on that. And also let the fans, you guys, get involved in the conversation. We'll be back after this quick break.
Players in Kulayam, Nanapan crowd recruitment, Hawaii, they see the whole Ghana, Onukwa, Baudia, Kitaka, Makan, facing play on the Nana Pintra, the whole Ghana. They say recruitment, Ayamaya, Asa, Lincoln, Aji, Asa GPL. They say, has a point of nobody won't go better as and I can so and you die and I go to say a and they said,
GPL headquarters.
Ikura me we obeja ya Kotoko. Na brabo de no anu mo hunu.
Yes, na brabo na
Kotoko no ko ye wo me kuro mu kura na me nua dawa na Kotoko obeja no wako. Oja kokko da bia. Busu ni we na oja no Kotoko. Sa na ye no. Da bia me ka kire nsa me kura me we obeja mo wako. Da bia me ka kire no. Ampa so obeja mo wako so. Sie me kura na Kotoko na wo hoda no obeko. Obeko Kotoko fo mo fa mbamra mi o. Mo fa me bamra me. Ona hwamie. Nana ya fa me ya froko na didi o me bia di wa. Nana ya fa me ya froko na didi o me bia di. Nana ya me dem doctor. Doctor se me so me ni operation. Fa me ya ne dai. Nana ya. Dodo bibie. Ebre wa kru we yire no ma besu yakọ. Nana ya dodo bibie. Nana ya me bet ko change no me bo bet me be na ma na.
GPL headquarters.
All right, welcome back. We're in morning. Ghana football is on a low once again, and obviously a life lost could have been anybody, and this Pooley man has become a martyr. Let's talk about the fans. They're the ones who are talking right now, and they're telling their clubs, in particular Asante Kotoko, do not continue with the league until certain measures have been put in place and certain assurances have been made by the football authorities. On the other side, the FA have called an emergency gathering of the football stakeholders on Thursday to discuss the issue. But we know that Kotoko have said that they will not continue with the Ghana Premier League until further notice. In Satroman have been quoted as saying that, but the FA is waiting for the official communication. What have the fans been saying before we go back to the issue of the Bono clubs and the issue of disciplinary actions that have been taken against them? The records will tell us that it's not about emotions, it's about the fact. The clubs in that side, or that side of football, have been known to cause problems based on the statistics available, not based on our emotions or what we're saying. But let's listen to the fans and what they have to say about this incident.
Pooley woni de e ka se enye ya na eboa e ya pa na se na ekonu na nse se ekonu sa sebi asem ko kan no wa pa ho chew e se o kan ni sa adwobre o na nse se ba ni se muma no won say so ban so ache even in so ache kran ko no ko say as a football fan nyina nim say ye tu kwan na ekodi bo achi a ye nyina nim dia na esi but ya na say edane ko ye owu asem but in fact ya because Pooley no if you kwan no oba TV sooner the way or discretion na nyina eto asun ma nyina hu say okay or a football fan but me hear justice amanu ebasa na ha dwen when na ma ya ntimi ko stadium no because be ko stadium no ko share wo de wo di traffic kran ka ye enti Pooley won de mesre empenifo nhwem because ya ojan ye ni ma ho be go to the extent say be fasikan and be fa dadwa be fa bibia show ho e dey ko prawu nua de menye sure say ya de papa even team papa kra Barcelona Madrid mu krampa high tension krampo wom omo boss air classico krampo ni sa ne ma no omo nkum obi at the end no be a legitimacy but no e normal thing in football because football dey a contact game enti like ube fa ade abetimi dia ha me nua de ahye wo ho e dey ko prawu nua na de akoko nua de enye kwan papa so
football dey ya for entertainment ya nyese ya nhwe na enipewunti ya de ayedeji yani na football no so no say ya wo ya dani a obi be kasa etie obi anya dani a o man ya wo me president kura ya kasa etia no nti so obi akasa etie wo a ya mfa ho abofo amfa sekan enkowo obi na Ghana no akoye say obi ye bone a ya ntwe na so ntifiti May 9 enkofo adi bone wo football mu sa bo no obi butu oba kura na prayer butu no prayers na wo mo ko ye discipline obi anti amana kwaso sa na say yadi owu ba enti mesre se we a esino manensi ho a wo mo hwehwem dia enam no so a owu no ba no ye mpanish no na ya asem da ho emma obi a amaobi a ko stadium a watumi akomport no ho mesre fans so se wo mo ko stadium obi an comport no ho eya ball na wo kohwe enya ntemdidie enya ntokwa wo hwe ball no wi a eya ade miansa na wo ma da se wo belusu ana wo benwine ana se wo bobo draw a wafa wo nwine a wafa
de tene se ye bla Pooley a wo wini de ya yen say ye hwe no TV so e ma ye ni je because o ma agro no ye de won say beef ni koso sa na we can on has ni share e ma agro no ye de it I don't know why I say team kitwa we nso chaman we ti den pa no mu hia e o si etumi hwe ye nuanim say ye bu na ku no
nti si a me de hwe na makunu no e de pa na nso chamafo omo ya fa ho de ai de e de ama me makuni keke enti yanko bobo a na mu kumire hye enti ye koya na se bae Ghana mamu nya sawu enti sa na so mu ba no dia anhwe de betimasi no ene papa enti ye pam chewa ye sere mu no mu nkasa na de omo maye no omu de ometima ye de ayafa ho na me so makoma nya de ento me yo because me de hye no maye de omakunu no enti sa de a menti ase
ball de em se Ghana for pe ball pa na so duru ba bi a enema bi a ya fam no ana se esie no entwa yie fi se says a ball obi kura ni ji ball ko park kura no osuru because animal STS bi say na nsem ho ebi sisa na o se ye den ye hwe ye hu ye pa na nipa o ye sa de ne de ye sure say ada so no ada no baba anase bia aposifo nso be so no mu fi say nguasema Ghana man they say am say akoba bia manfo ti say dey si wo Ghana ni
main disaster kura me call park e ko hwe ball but this time no hwe teams ni adina e bana e mo GFA no so bi ba be team na so office bia ne ho so ni ade e say GFA no omuma emmela ni ayi adwuma wo Ghana team nim even though met me the we at you for crowd there example say I say omamba oba be bobo na be says good mans ni entua ne car even though ya wo players him ya also was supporters in him
dedi kan only wu na reho amatikura say jama say ne yire kra enyam nipa na yes and so for to anya de ball nya hwe de ade ni na ultimate say kan show ho say wo hwe unu ni pa ni pa de kan wo de anya de ni kwenya ni nipa yes and anya de asem la no e force wa ni ni go Ghana highway we de ko kwasa sa 1 week na chiko ye ti hwi nipa nso awu ni ne ma je hwan ne be hwe Kotoko fo be ka to be hwe mo adi so abusu ni mensa no be je gu baby e to for it o ma anya de je fe nipa ni neti form e je anya mani ncha ma na Ghana football guys ani hwe kwa anya de bi uchu kwa do we Uku Stadium.
Well, the former Minister of Environment and Labour Relations, Honourable Ignatius Bafo Iwara, that he's been released on bail pending further, and needs to reappear rather on the 17th of February. This is just updates coming through 2 other suspects as well, and he's been accused by eyewitnesses and a few others. Statements have been made to that effect that the assailant, the one who carried out that awful attack, actually was not in a stadium but came from outside, and eyewitnesses claim he said he had been called to that scene. So all these police would have to gather the evidence and take statements and see how it goes. But premeditated murder in a football game, it is scary. It is quite a scary thing. We shouldn't joke about it at all, Prince.
No, without a doubt. I mean, to the extent that this thing happened, and one of the few things I'm also impressed about is the quick reaction from the Ghana Police Service. DCOP Lydia Donko was quickly sent to Sonyani, and her boss, the IGP, has also made a follow-up to find out exactly what is happening. There have been constant gathering of information between themselves and of course the regional. He's gone to see the family, paid his commiserations, and obviously he also assured Asante Kotoko, assured Otumfo, I should say, that everything will be made possible for the perpetrator to be brought to book. One of the few things, and if you listen across to the gentlemen who spoke on the streets, one of the few things they're looking at is that, yes, it has happened, but once the police find who the suspect is, he should be brought to book. Because, yeah, we can't live in fear where you tell your family that, oh, I'm going to watch a game at the football stadium, and then, they're all scared, they're all not too sure about your safety, etc. But we are all going to the stadium, one, to have fun, enjoy a good game of football. There obviously would be lots of talk here and there. This one likes this one doesn't like this. But it is part of the game. So we all understand and we accept that, yes, there'll be a lot of talk. But at the end of the day, peace must prevail. There must be a winner, a loser, or it's a draw. If we are going to carry it to this level, what happens next if Accra Hearts of Oak, for example, have a beef with any other team? Or if Young Apostles has a beef with any other team? Does that mean that that team supporters cannot go to the stadium to support them? Football should not, go. We shouldn't see football go down the gutter.
Now there's a break next weekend. Obviously, this weekend's upcoming matches definitely off.
GFA said is off for now, and Kotoko says they're also indefinitely not going to be.
Yeah, you listen to other clubs as well. Some media you know, houses are saying they will not risk sending their reporters to the venue. So we have a big problem. It's a crisis.
Safe.
What is the immediate action that must be taken now, as we say? And they are hot right now.
Let's look for that gentleman.
Good.
Let's grab that gentleman. But whilst we do that, let's also go back and revisit the work of the licensing,
club licensing,
the club licensing committee. We obviously agree that there are certain parks that should not host professional football, without a doubt. Maybe a lot of people may not know exactly where the Nana Mansa Park is.
Yeah, you've been there several times to do your work.
It's even not close to the town.
So you need to drive in.
You need to drive in. It's quite a distance, you know, and then you need to come back. The environment there is such that apart from the playing field, there are only a few structures. There's an open area where they have their training. They have some indoor or outdoor games, and then the hostel where the players reside.
And then there's a drive.
Then that's it.
Out of
then
town.
It's a long drive out of town.
Yeah.
How do we pass such a venue for Premiership football?
And it's not the only one.
It's not the only one. There are a lot we can mention. Not have even made it.
So this issue.
But you see, it also brings back the point that, okay, if they don't make it, does it mean that maybe just about 2, 3, or 4 stadia will be allowed to host?
Why not?
It also may come with its repercussions, but
we'll come back to the club licensing, obviously. And you did mention earlier that the IGP is also in Kumasi at the moment.
Yes.
Went to see the family and also to assure, because the outcry and outrage also
the outpour is too much.
Yeah, because the video, not just that, but officers at the scene, paramedics and then law enforcement officers didn't seem to be in control of a very deadly situation.
They were not proactive at all.
He has to really explain how that happened. Maybe training, they're not properly trained, or perhaps they were not alert to how serious the situation was. Because you watch the police officers on duty there, and they were still strolling up and down as the stricken, you know, supporter lay there taking his last breath. Really unacceptable. But at least he's gone to Kumasi. He's on the ground, and he's, you know, trying to cool things down. I don't know if we have the footage
area
over there.
Of the training for the police also comes in handy. I'll let my colleague Blackgate talk a little bit more about that, because he's had a fair idea of what we're talking about. But we watch international football on TV. Security or police that go to the stadium, they do not even face the game. They face the fans. In this country, it's opposite. In this country,
there are no stewards in this country.
They rather enjoy the game and celebrate when there's a goal. But strictly speaking, they are supposed to be facing the fans, so that should any eventuality happen, they're quick to notice it, and then they can quickly regroup and then sort the issue out. But they are there watching the game. You know, when some of us were heckled at the Senior Coronation Park, it was the same. They were in the inner perimeter, we were watching the game, arms folded, enjoying the game. I'm not saying they shouldn't enjoy the game, but you're there for a reason, you're there for a purpose. You are not a ticket holding person. You are there on a duty, and that duty must be performed. It happens at the Accra Sports Stadium. You go to Baba Yara, you see it. You go to other enclosed stadia, you see it. And that is why, for me, it comes back to this man on our screen, ensuring that the police go through the right training, especially when it comes to handling crowds at venues such as the stadium.
Yeah, Akufu Dampari, the man on your screen there, obviously the Kotoko Secretariat in Kumasi, explaining that they're on top of situation, investigations ongoing, they've assured safety. So the FA would have to work with the police, they would have to work with all the clubs, they've called the stakeholders for a family meeting, and other clubs positively are showing solidarity with Kotoko, because it could have been a Hearts of Oak fan, it could have been a Great Olympics. And to be honest, the chap at the top corner is like a Langabell. It's like back in the day, there was this guy, is it Bayawa? You've had others,
Ali
Maradona of Kotoko. There are others. Each club has these personalities and characters who are vociferous and provocative verbally, in order to provoke fans to also react verbally. It doesn't cross the verbal you know, domain. But once it goes beyond that,
it's
we have
always
a problem.
healthy rivalry.
Yeah, football is all about trying to taunt each other,
yeah,
to stimulate somebody, to get a positive reaction out of the person. If we all go to the stadium, we sit down, we only watch the game, we are quiet. At the end of the day, there's nothing like entertainment. That's why they say sharing passions. You have to share passion, you have to share emotions.
Yeah.
It's unity, it's sportsmanship. It should be it's contact sports. But at the end of the day, you've got to have it at the back of your mind that this game, it's either we win, we lose, or we draw.
Simple.
So any of the three that comes your way, you should be able to settle with it. See, make no mistake, we've seen referees, even in the full glare of VAR, take decisions that are uncalled for, but nobody goes heckling or killing somebody because the appropriate authorities will deal with the matter as it is. In about the last 2 seasons, with all due respect to the disciplinary committee of the Ghana Football Association, they've been prompt in some of the decisions in terms of how they charge some of the people that have misbehaved or clubs. They've charged some of them. So we should at least have a little bit of confidence in the disciplinary committee of the FA. They've not let people off the hook in the last 2 seasons here. They've charged, and even with this, they've charged some Kotoko's players in the midst of all these things. That tells you that they are not a weak body. They will take the right decisions. But the problem here is the clubs themselves must look at each other in the face and be truthful to each other. The match official, the security personnel on the venue. See, me, I'm always of the opinion that when you go to some of the match venues, the security personnel that are present, most of them have been neutralized by the home supporters because they feel like they know my house. Some of them, aside work, they are friends with them.
Yep.
So they can't be tough on them to take decisions. And that is where the commanders of those zones have to be tough. They've got to be ruthless. They've got to hammer down the right kind of information to those that they will deploy to the various match centers. That, hey, you are not there to make friends. You are there to watch the games. And the issue of stewards at the stadium, stewards must be reintroduced into our game to complement the strengths of the police. Because you can't go to a match venue with a 10,000 fan base and have about 10 referees to control crowd violence. It's a no-no. That's a proper breach of security protocol. They can't control it. We just seen a typical example in Nswantrema last weekend. We've seen referees, we've seen a policeman right at where Pooley was dying. We see policemen in the videos. They were just walking, allowing civilians to touch the human being dying. In a more developed world, the civilians will not even dare go and touch it because when they come to conduct those kind of DNA testing on the body and all those things, they'll find exhibit or samples of you on the body and you must be dragged into a crime scene investigation. But what happens there? The police, you can see an ambulance there once a human being was dying. The ambulance driver was of nowhere to be found. That particular ambulance driver on duty should also be dragged into this because you are there for a reason.
A lot of questions must be answered. Let's go to the Western region where Sami is on the line. Takrade. Good evening, Sami.
Okay, good evening.
Sami,
hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. We're listening to you.
Yeah, please, I'm Sami from Takrade, as I said. This afternoon, my submission is that the referee made a mistake from the onset because I watched the ball live. The first half, he should have shown card. The first half, he should have shown card. If that thing were able to happen, I don't think that players beating themselves would have come for this thing to happen. And moreover, that is Sochaman people from Division 1. GFA has watched them beating Tamale Cities, LTU, and other staffs. Are they the only people that they can do wrong thing without punishing or without being punished? You have to stop football so you have to stop football because the person or the owner of this the team is MP. So the team can ask him. And now see at the end, somebody catching the say me call Jumaba and I say because support team about and at the end lost the life. And at the end they continue the game too, which I don't understand. So please, I need updates on that. I need an education on why after all these things still the game were able to continue or the
all right, thank you very much, Sami from Takrade. It's a former MP, Ignatius Bafui, where he's no more in Parliament, right? He lost his seat, and then the other one was why the game continued. Well, again, as I said, Kotoko wanted to boycott the game.
They had a call from the top.
The referee, per the conversation with this Kotoko official, said the referee wanted to abandon the game, but there was a call that said continue the game. So let's find out if it's true, if it's in the report of the referee, if the referee says, hey, I wanted to call off the game, but so said I shouldn't. So let's get all the facts together.
Yeah. One thing that I want them to do is, for the very first time, they should publish the referee's report online, so that everybody can really look at it. Because, you know, when Tottenham played this game that there was a goal disallowed wrongly against Liverpool, they released the audio recordings between the match officials for everybody to hear.
Public outcry. Yeah, there was a lot of public outcry.
They should publish the match referees this thing for us to read.
Right, okay. So, Frida, how are you doing? Good evening.
Please, good evening. How are you?
Doing good.
Please, I want to talk about police death. What happened was no good cry. And I saw an image where he was standing. I saw a small boy there. I don't know if the boy was monitoring him or what. And I learned that at the gate that they stabbed him. Is it true or at the field?
All right.
You have to do something about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So lots of accounts, eyewitness reports, and in a positive way, Prince. There's video evidence being used, and you can look at the video. The experts will look at that. And unfortunately, he was attacked at the gate when he was trying to escape from the venue. So he was attacked, and unfortunately, he died there. So by the time they took him away, he had already, you know, he was gone. Yeah. Let's go to the Ashanti region now, and Ashtown. Good evening, Isha. How are you doing?
Now police judge na hono. Enti that time no omunti bi emfa one.
Yeah, look, as I said, the video evidence is very damning. You saw clip now, Okano, police for ambulance officers in no mujina chain, but omanyeshwe, very unfortunate. Inti now kahuna investigations. Asha says. So hopefully, images, photos, eyewitness reports, any statements, Uncle for Bemano, you bet me the facts, you know, out of all of this. So there is a lot. I think in a good way, social media or the people who are filming, even though perhaps at that time they couldn't do much, it would help in the investigations. You're right. The officers, security. Yeah. Let's go to the central region. Swedro Evans. Hello, it's saying.
Hello, Badoje.
Boko, my you.
Madam Bedamkade, Ghana, we are not serious. We live in a shameful state. A state of insecurity, a state of mishandness and disobedience. We have problems. I'm starting to be a Ghanaian. Look, it's not a serious thing. A big thing like you, who done a small thing, I'm serious. I'm serious. What Nadu was president, Ghanaians were bragging. They say, wanted. Shut on you. Look what happened in this country. I'm start to be a Ghanaian. And I'm a move for children. We don't live in a country like this. Why did the Kotoko leave the boy to go? Are they serious?
Kotoko leadership.
They must be questioned. A big thing like you, it's a shame.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, yeah, time so. I think the issue of Kotoko leadership and the boycotting of the game, they wanted to boycott the game, per what I've heard. You know, they wanted to walk away. The referee said no. Well, the referee said yes, and I'm saying this on record, but this must be also made officially, must be made official by the referee and the Kotoko hierarchy that they wanted to abandon the game.
The referee, where was the match commissioner?
That's the issue.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying, that all these reports, we need to find out what they wrote per the video evidence presented. It looks like there's a lot of contradictions.
Lots of loopholes in the stories, and I'm sure that's where the police will come in, and they will do a much more justifiable job in ensuring that they put the pieces together for us to know exactly.
Just when the calls are coming through, guys, our time is up. It's always like that. So no closing remarks. But on Thursday we'll continue, and on Sports back on Max 89.7 FM and Sports Daily. Keep with the latest updates, and then of course on Thursday we'll bring you the very latest from this issue. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now.